today let us focus on how we can run the statistical forecasting. But before that, I would also like to show you a couple of things from the application job perspective. Okay. So one thing, probably I go to the application job.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
And you can see multiple jobs which have been executed. So this is nothing but similar to a batch job concept, right? Where you can run the application job. The one which you have executed from the Excel UI, the same will be also shown here under the application jobs template, right? So yesterday we were running the Outlier forecast model. Under the application job available in Excel UI, same case is also shown here under the statistical forecasting case, right? Which you can review, and then you can also check the logs from here, right? Maybe once we will go into the time series analysis, I'll show you how the application job can be created and executed via this app, right? So maybe I'll park that point as of now. Meanwhile, let us go back to the home page and then start discussing about the focus model, right? So let's see, if I go to the demand planner tab, there is an app provided by SAP to for the administrator to configure the focus models, right? So let's open up this app, and then probably I can just quickly filter out on our planning area. And let's see how many focus models probably we would have created as a test example. Okay, so we had created this Z based fit focus model. Let's go through that first. Okay. Yesterday we created this Outlier one, so it's the similar concept, right? Similar Fury app for focus model creation, right? Instead of create, I'm just getting into an edit mode of the existing one. Right. Then you can mention the periodicity at which this statistical forecasting should be executed. In this case, I have used it as a calendar week. Okay, maybe 13 weeks from the historical period perspective, and 52 weeks from the forecast execution perspective. That's the periodicity I have mentioned. Purposefully for this illustration purpose, I have kept it to 13 weeks. Normally, you will see a bigger range, right? When you are trying to execute a forecast for a next year or two, you would prefer to have sales history also for last 2 years or last 3 years, right? Now, since for yesterday's example, we had uploaded sales history only for a few last 13-14 weeks, so I have kept this as an example. Now, another point to be noted is by which day you are going to execute the statistical forecast, right? Some clients say that I would execute the statistical forecast between workday 1 to workday 3, right? During the initial period of the month. So that the expectation is, let's say, if I go to the system, let's take an example. I'm in December right now, okay? And I want to generate a forecast from December onwards for next 1 year till next December, right? It makes sense if I'm on workday 1 or workday 2, which is the initial days of December. It makes sense to generate the statistical forecast for current month onwards, right? Because we can review it anyway, we have time. But let's say I'm executing this forecast on maybe calendar day 20, right? Which is almost at the end of the month. Then question would be, does it make sense to generate the forecast which is going to be executed on December 20th? Whether it should generate a forecast from December onwards or January onwards. That's the question, right? So at times, whenever you decide on the execution date, right, you can also align from which month the forecast should get executed. That means December forecast should not be altered, which was generated in last month, right? So for that purpose, you can also mention a frozen period of 1 month so that system will not touch the forecast which was generated in November for the month of December. Right? I think whenever we talk about such concepts, if there is a confusion, let me know. Right? But the reason why I just wanted to highlight it here is I have seen clients which prefers to generate the statistical forecast at the end of the month. So it makes sense not to alter that month's forecast, which was generated in previous run, which is previous end of the month, right? And then we should only execute the new forecast for next month onwards. So if I'm executing the forecast on 20th of December, I would prefer to execute it for January onwards and without touching the forecast which was generated in past month for December. Let it be there as is, right? Because I would have aligned it in the past month's execution, right? So for that purpose, you can also mention the frozen period. If I mention the frozen period of 1 year, system will start generating the forecast from next week onwards in this case. Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
Then let's say if you are generating the forecast for multiple products and some of the products are new products, meaning that they are NPIs, right? New product introductions. That means they may not have their own sales history because you haven't started selling those products. However, you know that there are certain existing products which have the similar pattern, similar sale pattern, and you are expecting that the forecast for the new products will also be in line with the actuals of those reference products. So you can use this product life cycle tagging to indicate that whenever you are generating a statistical forecast for new product, please refer the sales history of the reference product. If I scroll up, I'm just trying to check if there are any important parameters. Pre-processing, we will skip now because we touched base yesterday. In this example, I'm not doing any pre-processing because it was done in the previous forecast model for outliers, right? Then the next parameters to update are under which key figure system should review the input, right? So definitely here the key figure used for input is related to actuals. So which actuals key figure you want to use, whether the actuals which are integrated from the source system or which are updated by planner as per the corrections, as per the outliers, right? So in this example, I have used an adjusted actuals quantity key figure as input, right? And then once the statistical forecast is generated, in which key figure the result should get stored. So that's the statistical forecast quantity key figure. Now, people who have experience in statistics, probably they will understand and know that if when system is trying to generate the forecast, it also calculates and generates the ex post forecast, right, for the specific past period. So in which key figure that ex post forecast should be also populated in case demand planner has an experience of statistics and he wants to know what ex post forecast system had generated, right? And then you can guide the system based on which algorithm statistical forecast needs to be executed. So in this case, let's say I have used multiple algorithms like automated exponential smoothing, auto-SARIMA, ARIMA, cross-chain methods, or gradient boosting. These are all complicated statistical algorithms for which you should have at least a background of statistics, right? Where you know the pattern of the sales, where it's a seasonal, where it's a trend, whether it's constant, and then what parameters you want to weighing parameters you want to assign, like those alpha, beta, gamma parameters with specific settings. I would prefer you start with the system proposed parameters, don't change it, right? And then based on the sales history, start executing the forecast. The way this optimization normally happens during the projects is you start with a baseline and then keep on updating those parameters and review or validate the forecast error. Wherever you see that now the forecast error is getting synchronized and is not altering, that means you have come to the optimal stage of the parameters, right? And then you can start using those parameters in your real life scenarios, right? Now, the next part would be post-processing. In case you want to also review the forecast errors, in which key figure the forecast error should get applied. So in this example, if you want to review the forecast error based on mean absolute percentage error,